Race 21 out of 24 today here on Heat Stay, and it's going to be a belter under the nighttime skies and the floodlights. It's Senior Rotax, Heat 5, Groups A versus D. Let's have a look at the starting grid. So, starting on the front row will be as follows. Reese Hunter and Sebastian Bailey on the front row. Lars van Vark and Kai Hunter, row 2. Flint Schuring and Laura Zanen, row 3. Matthew Higgins and Milan Koppens, row 4. Rounding out the top 10, it's Christian de Klein and Enzo Caldajas. Arthur Horsch and Bennett Arends, row 6. Linus Henson and Luca Costa, row 7. Lewis Gilbert and Sam Van Til, row 8. Row 9, Emily de Hoys and Arnold Domingo. Completing the top 20, Zino Kovac and Jens van der Heyden. Rounding out the 29 strong, it's Max Stemmedig, David Lackner, Tim Prinzler, Philip Keskik, Bendit Sabo, Corentin Franchi, Lester Ellenkamp, Mitch Haynert, and Mats Johan Overhoff. 29 drivers, 14 and a half rows. Add to that the combustible mix of 10 minutes plus an additional lap. These drivers have one more heat to go, and then after this we'll have another heat to bring it to a conclusion for Senior Rotax on Heat Stay for the Rotax Max Challenge Euro Golden Trophy. With an absolutely star-studded field of Rotax racing talent in this class, not just in this race but in the next one, expect fireworks at its very finest. The red lights are on the starting gantry as the drivers make their way down the Europolan. The temperature still 9 degrees ambient air temperature outside. And what's more, there's still some battle lines to be drawn this weekend. So the drivers now start getting their way into formation ahead of this 10-minute plus 1 lap encounter around this 1,360-meter circuit, known as the home of champions karting Genk. Right then, 14 and a half rows, 29 Senior Rotax drivers, 10 minutes plus an additional lap on the clock. Red lights are on the starting gantry. It will be down to Reese Hunter and Sebastian Bailey to lead them into the tram lines. Out of the final corner, into the tram lines we go. Roused rise, are we ready? We are off and away and racing. Who's going to get to the first corner first? It could be Reese Hunter, as Lars van Vark goes up the inside of Sebastian Bailey, and Bailey drifts wide, and that's allowed the floodgates to slightly open here, but not to the point where Sebastian Bailey was dropping down the order like a stone. But it has really brought this race alive under the nighttime skies, underneath the floodlights. There are some drivers getting a bit overzealous. Mats Johan Overhoff round the outside of several drivers going through turn number 6 onto the Europolan. It's up the inside of Laura Zanen. That is, I'm just keeping my eyes out, that could be Matthew Higgins. Well, we'll see what's happening. No, there's Matthew Higgins. He's up into second. The youngster, based out of Trafalgar in Wales, has shot up the order like a rat up a drain pipe as they flood their way through to complete lap number 1. Leading the way, it is Reese Hunter, Matthew Higgins in second. Third, it's Sebastian Bailey being pressurised by Lars van Vark, Kai Hunter, Laura Zanen, Milan Koppens, Christian de Klein, Linus Henson, Enzo Caldajas, and Lars van Vark is dropping positions like it's going out of fashion, and Decline up the inside. Through turn 5, Van Vark has had a bit of a mare as The 397 of Lara Zainin and Milan Coppens in the 635 go side by side into turn 7. Coppens comes out in front. Decline is still with them at the moment, with 8.5 minutes still to go. And if you thought the adrenaline was kicking in now, just wait. So through, and Lewis Gilbert sends it from another area code here in Belgium, right up the inside of Lars van Vark, who loses another 2 positions. Lara Zainin up the inside as he and Milan Coppens switch positions. Coppens looking to the inside through into turns 1 and 2, and behind him comes, he gets a bit of assist from Christian de Klein. There's Linus Hansen. Zainin drifts out wide. Gilbert waiting and biding his time. Lars van Vark is dropping down the order, and it's all coming to a head right about now. I just saw Sem van Thiel, Max Stemmerding, Bennett Arends just around the 629 from the Netherlands. There are trains aplenty here in this heat, and we're not done yet. 7.5 minutes to go, and at the minute, Rhys Hunter leads the British 1-2 ahead of Matthew Higgins, who is coming under fire from Sebastian Bailey. There is Milan Coppens, amongst others, behind the likes of Kai Hunter and Lewis Gilbert, closing in on Linus Hansen. Gilbert already up into the top 10, having started down in 15th position on the inside of row number 8. As Decline up the inside of Coppens through turn 2. That's a positional change for P5. Henson waiting, Gilbert waiting. Zainin has got the ringside seat, and coming along for the ride is Enzo Calderas from France. Coppens up the inside of Decline. Henson goes through. Gilbert waits. Decline, sparks fly from the back of the chassis as Gilbert and Zainin get through. On the approach into turn 7 down the Europolan. But Rhys Hunter has gotten away into the distance, into the night time. And he's 1.2 seconds ahead of Matthew Higgins. This train is absolutely enthralling to watch as up the inside of Artur Horsch goes Flint Schuring. That's for 11th place. Lewis Gilbert up the inside of Linus Hansen gives the German no room to counter-attack and has him fall into the clutches of a Belgian in the form of Lara Zainin. Someone goes grass tracking. A little bit further back, not too sure if that might have been maybe Luca Köster possibly, as Henson over the curves going through turn 3. Zainin behind, Decline behind, Calderas, and there is Flint Schuring in 11th. And Zainin up the inside of Henson. Decline goes through as well. Calderas and Schuring waiting for their opportunity to strike, but Henson trying to go tight on the inside line through into turn 7. He makes it through and keeps his position at the moment. That drops him down to 8th place. An absolute masterclass of racecraft here under the nighttime sky as Lars van Vark on the comeback trail up the inside of Flint Schuring, who loses out to the 309 of Max Stemmerding from the Netherlands. Christian Decline up the inside. Looks like that was Calderas. He got through, past, and that would have been for 9th on the road. Hunter leads by nearly 1.5 seconds by Kai Hunter, who's overtaken Matthew Higgins in the process. So it's a British 1, 2, 3. Sebastian Bailey holding on to 4th, but Lewis Gilbert is trying to hunt him down. Gilbert is on a 54.8 last time round. Sebastian Bailey a 55.1 as there's more positional changes. Christian Decline and Enzo Calderas bump wheels. Decline off the track off on the Europolan, and he's sideways trying to control it. Oh, Christian Decline, you saved that one, but that nearly compromised someone behind. I think that could have been Bende Zabo in 18th position. Christian Decline's moment there alongside Enzo Calderas has meant that the Dutchman has fallen down the order. 4.5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. There's your top 4. Now 5. Now 6 with Milan Coppens. Gilbert in 5th. Sebastian Bailey in 4th. Matthew Higgins in 3rd. Kai Hunter in 2nd. And Rhys Hunter has already had 2 wins. And Rhys Hunter took pole position in time qualifying practice yesterday evening. And now he's on course to be on pole position for the pre-final tomorrow. Top 30 will go through automatically to the pre-final stages, and then it's going to be a dogfight. 29 senior Rotax drivers tomorrow morning battling over the last 6 positions on the grid. as Christian de Klein actually dropped all the way down to 22nd position as a result of that incident. As there's more drivers here, there's David Lackner battling away with in the 351, along with Flint Schuring from the Netherlands. Flint Schuring in the 316 for JJ Racing. Cadderhaas is being closed in on by Sven van Tiel from the Netherlands. Arthur Horsch rounds out the top 11. There's your leader, Reese Hunter. He's got a 1.4 second advantage over his brother Kai. And that is Bennett Aren's day gone from bad to worse. Heat 2 for the German didn't go well. Now the third one has really put the nail in the coffin, so to speak. Figuratively, not literally, as we're into the last 3 minutes plus an additional lap. Max Stemmerdink now ahead of Lars van Vark for 12th position, as Cadderhaas holds on ahead of Sven van Tiel in the 656. Not too far behind is Francis Arthur Horsch. Then Max Stemmerdink, Lars van Vark, Emily de Hoy's up to 14th now. Vendit Sabo rounds out the top 15 positions. We're into the last 2.5 minutes as Cadderhaas takes the tight defensive line into turn 2, and Sven van Tiel looking for an opportunity to get past the Frenchman, but not quite yet. And we've had a penalty issue. David Lackner has just been given a 5-second time penalty by race control for pushing, and that is going to drop the Austrian outside of the top 20, as now Sven van Tiel launches it up the inside. Late brakes on Enzo Cadderhaas, and that gives the Dutch driver 9th position. Just over 90 seconds remains, plus an additional lap, and still the hits, they keep on coming. Max Stemmerdink up the inside of Arthur Horsch, and that opens the door for Lars van Vark, who capitalises like a scalded cat on a hot tin roof. The Dutchman trying to fight his way back up the order, and goes up the inside of Stemmerdink. Stemmerdink could have the cut back down the Europalaan, and Lars van Vark. I've never seen such a steely gaze at a piece of tarmac going down the Europalaan to see exactly where the driver is. That's great peripheral vision. And funny enough, Lars van Vark, I think, is a fellow glasses wearer as well. Just goes to show that you can use all these tactics to your advantage when you're trying to keep people at bay. 50 seconds on the clock remaining, plus an additional lap. And Reese Hunter and Kai Hunter are now 0.8 of a second adrift. Kai Hunter has put in the fastest lap of the race of 54.673. Matthew Higgins in third, Sebastian Bailey as all. Here we go, up the inside, Max Stemmerdink back up the inside of Lars van Vark, who nearly gets caught out. Van Vark switches back through 3. They could nearly clash through turn 4, and there's Emily de Hoy's waiting to pounce. And with her, there is Arthur Horsch. De Hoy's up the inside of Van Vark through turn 6, as we've got 17 seconds on the clock. Amazing drive from Emily de Hoy's. Been running in Formula 4 this year. And it's good to see her back in senior Rotax. Timer is about to hit 0. And this has been full throttle, fast pace, pedal to the metal from the minute the red lights went out. Time has hit 0. So last lap board is out. Reese and Kai Hunter leading the way onto the 12th and final lap. Matthew Higgins is in third. Lewis Gilbert past Sebastian Bailey up for 4th position. So the Scotsman from Ayrshire now has made his way up the order from 15th to 4th place. That's a gain of 11 positions, and there are the two Hunters. And what's more, Kai Hunter is now ahead of Reese. So effectively, Kai Hunter has had a DNF, and I think, you know what, this is a bit of brotherly love being shown here between these two great guys that I've got to know over the past few seasons, and they're going to come out of the final corner. It's not going to be a clean sweep for Reese Hunter, but Kai Hunter out of the final corner, powers down the throttle, and he takes the checkered and wins the race by just under 2/10. Matthew Higgins makes it a clean sweep. Well, hang on, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Brits, courtesy of Matthew Higgins and Lewis Gilbert. Sebastian Bailey Bailey trying to do his best for Belgian pride on home soil, managing fifth ahead of fellow countryman Milan Coppens. But what a penultimate heat for senior Rotax here at the home of champions. And in all my commentary years since 2017, the atmosphere here this weekend at the Golden Trophy, I've never experienced it. I'll be completely honest with you. This is fantastic. Nighttime qualifying, nighttime racing, and there. So let's have a look at the results. Kai Hunter rounds off his evening with a win ahead of Brother Reese by just under 0.2 of a second. Matthew Higgins and Lewis Gilbert completes an all-clean top four sweep for the Brits ahead of Sebastian Bailey and Milan Coppens. Linus Henson and Lars Zanen ran out the top 8, with Zen Van Thiel and Enzo Caldajas rounding out the top 10. Max Stemmerdink, Emily de Hoys, Lars Van Vark, Artur Horsch, Bendit Sabo, David Lackner, Luca Costa, Lester Ellenkamp, Christian de Klein recovers to finish in 19th ahead of Philip Keskik, who rounds out the top 20. Zino Kovac, Mitch Heinert, Flint Schuring, Arnold Domingo, Mats Johan Overhoff, Corentin Franchi, Jens van der Heyden, and Tim Prinzer rounds out the drivers that finished the race, and Bennett Arends unfortunately retiring on lap 6.